The lady would change into a coral snake every night and crawl into her neighbor's house, then poison their slippers and their food. By morning they would eat the food and passed away instantly. The neighbors wondered who poisoned their food. No one knew it was Clara that did the impossible. It all began years ago. Clara had begged for love. Her mother had passed away, her father vanished, and her only surviving uncle chased her away. She was crying under a street lamp when a strange old woman approached her and whispered, "If no one will protect you, then you shall protect yourself. I give you the gift of the serpent. At night, you would have power. But beware, child, never stay passed on, or you lose your human body forever." At first, Clara thought it was nonsense. Until she noticed she had power to steal food and punish anyone who laughed or gossiped about her without being caught. Clara's life changed the day she met Jerry. It was inside a busy ShopRite supermarket. Clara was standing in the fruit section, quietly picking oranges, when Jerry walked in. He was tall and had the sort of smile that could melt stone. Jerry wasn't looking for love, he already had a girlfriend of 3 years. Everyone thought he would marry her soon. But the moment he saw Clara, something shifted. Her beauty wasn't loud or flashy. It was the kind that crept into your chest slowly. Her soft voice, sad smile, and her mysterious eyes, they pulled him in like a magnet. By the end of that week, Jerry broke off his old relationship. His girlfriend cried and begged him, but Jerry had made up his mind. Within months, he married Clara. At first, their love was like a dream. Jerry told his friends, "She's the quiet type, but she's the most peaceful woman I've ever met." Clara cooked, cleaned, and treated him with respect. For the first time in years, Jerry felt like the luckiest man alive, but he didn't know he had married a serpent bride. At midnight, Jerry was asleep, snoring softly, when Clara changed into a coral snake, then slid off the bed and crawled out of the door. After a few minutes, Jerry stirred in his sleep. "Clara," he mumbled, half awake. When he didn't hear a response, he sat up. The bed was empty. He searched the bathroom and it was empty. He checked the balcony. Nothing. Then, just as he turned back toward the bedroom, he saw a coral snake slithering into the bedroom's door. Jerry's heart jumped into his stomach. What in God's name? He grabbed a stick from the corner and crept forward. The snake raised its head for a moment, their eyes locked. He lifted the stick to strike, but the snake panicked and darted toward the kitchen, slid across the tiles, and escaped. Jerry, shaking, shut the door quickly. His chest pounded. What kind of estate is this, and snakes inside the house? He paced, sweating. Should he tell Clara? Or call the guard? He decided to check the kitchen again. He pushed the door open, and he saw Clara in her nightgown, holding a Bible, kneeling on the ground. "Clara." Jerry gasped. "Where did you come from?" She smiled sweetly. "Oh, darling. I have been here praying. You were snoring so loud, I didn't want to disturb you." Jerry blinked. He wanted to argue and even tell her about the snake. But her calm face disarmed him. "Praying?" He muttered. "Yes, my love," Clara said, brushing dust from her gown, "for our marriage. Your health and for God's blessing." Jerry sighed. "Oh. I see. Sorry babe, I thought I saw. Never mind. Let's go back to bed." Clara kissed his cheek gently. "Don't worry. Maybe you were dreaming." And just like that, the matter was closed. The night continued, but Jerry couldn't shake off the feeling. Every night, at exactly 1 a.m., Clara would vanish from their bed. Sometimes she claimed she was praying. Other times she said she was reading the Bible or sweeping the visitor's room. Jerry, confused, whispered to himself one night, "So it's only at 1 a.m. she suddenly remembers God." Meanwhile, Clara continued her midnight hunts. She slithered from house to house, poisoning her neighbors' slippers left outside their doors, and whoever wore them in the morning would feel the sting, sometimes a rash, cough or death. Nobody knew it was Clara or suspected her. By morning, people would cry and bury one of their family members. Clara, on the other hand, would cry with them and pretend to be a perfect housewife, quiet, respectful, and always smiling faintly. And Jerry? He kept doubting himself. He even joked with his friend one morning, "I swear, sometimes I think I married a ghost. At night she disappears, And when I check the house, all I see is one big snake." His friend laughed so hard he nearly spilled his tea. "Bro, you dey watch too much Nollywood. Better hold your wife tight before she holds another man." Jerry laughed too, but deep inside, he wasn't sure. The estate was no longer peaceful, too many people had fallen sick, and many strange deaths had been reported. Neighbors whispered in fear, "Something is ending our life in the night. It must be witchcraft." The estate security men decided to act. Every night, from 12:30 a.m., they patrolled with torchlights and sticks, their boots echoed on the pavement, their torches sliced through the darkness, and then one night it happened. Clara had just transformed into her Cora serpent form. She slithered across the grass, heading toward a row of slippers left outside. Suddenly, a bright light blinded her. "Look at Snake!" One guard shouted. Before Clara could escape, 3 men cornered her. One struck her with a stick and she was trapped. "Not this thing way they unalive people for the estate." They shouted. They threw her inside a big bag quickly. "Tomorrow we go cook and for pepper soup." One guard laughed. "Make everybody enjoy." The men celebrated, bragging that they had caught the demon snake. But just before dawn, as they dropped the bag in the security shed, Clara wriggled with desperate strength and she tore through the bag and escaped. By the time the guards returned, the bag was empty. Fear spread across the estate like wildfire. "This snake is not ordinary," they cried. "It must be a spirit." Weeks later, Clara slithered toward a small flat at the edge of the estate. Inside lived Mr. Sugarboy, a flashy man who was known for chasing women. That night, he had whispered to Clara earlier in human form, when Jerry wasn't around, "Come see me tonight, beautiful Clara. Leave your boring husband. I'll give you pleasure like never before." Clara smiled sweetly, but in her heart, she thought, "Yes. Tonight, your life will end." At 1:30 a.m., she crept into Sugarboy's house in her serpent body, planning to strike his slippers, maybe even his bed. But just as she slithered into his bedroom, she transformed back into her human self, because Clara wanted him to see her beauty before death. Sugarboy grinned. "Oh, my love, you came." He pulled her close, but before anything could happen, the door slammed open. It was Jerry. His face was red with rage. His fist shook. He had followed Clara that night, determined to know where she always disappeared to. And what he saw broke his heart. His wife standing in another man's bedroom, dressed in her nightgown. "Clara!" Jerry shouted. She froze. Her lips trembled. "It's not what you think," but Jerry didn't listen. His anger boiled over. He grabbed a lantern and smashed it against Sugarboy's wall. Flames leapt up. Sugarboy screamed. The fire spread across the curtains, the bed and the walls. In minutes, the entire flat was burning. Neighbors rushed out, shouting, sirens wailed, and soon, police arrived. Jerry was dragged away, still kicking and screaming Clara's name. Sugarboy survived, but his house was destroyed. The police threw Jerry inside the smelly prison cell. He couldn't stop crying. "How could she betray me? I gave her everything. I left another woman for her. I risked it all. And this is what I get." But deep inside, he still loved her. Clara, meanwhile, was broken with guilt. She knew Jerry thought she had cheated, but the truth was far worse. She had gone there to end a life. She begged Sugarboy privately, "Please release my husband. Drop the charges." He acted out of anger. But Sugarboy smirked cruelly. "No. That man destroyed my house. Let him rot in prison. Then you will be free to come back to me." Clara's eyes flashed with rage. If only Sugarboy knew the monster standing before him. She wanted to reveal her serpent form and squeeze the life out of him, but she couldn't. Not yet. Instead, she went to the police. She knelt before the officer in charge, tears streaming down her face. "Please, sir. My husband is innocent. He only did it out of love. Don't destroy his life. I beg you." The officer, moved by her desperate sobs, after much persuasion, they released Jerry on bail. When Jerry stepped out of prison, weak and tired, Clara ran into his arms. She clung to him like her life depended on it. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I swear I was never with that man. I was only praying for us." Geri looked into her sparkling eyes. He wanted to scream, but suddenly felt deep love for her, and he said sometimes love forgives what logic cannot. He wiped her tears and kissed her forehead. Clara, I don't understand you. But I love you. And I will never let you go. Clara smiled through holding him tighter. Deep inside, she knew she didn't deserve such love. But maybe it was the only thing keeping her human. One Saturday afternoon, while watering the flowers outside, Clara overheard two women, her neighbors, chatting loudly by the gate. Have you noticed that woman? One said, lowering her voice. Strange things happen in this estate since she came. Yes, oh, the other replied. People losing their lives and sleepers poisoned. And she has no child, no friends, always moving alone. I swear, she's not normal. Clara froze. Her hands trembled. Her eyes narrowed. So now they gossip about me. After all my pain and silence, that night, at 1 a.m., Clara slithered out of her house in her serpent form. Her body was hot with rage. She crawled silently into her neighbors and ended their lives. By morning, both women had passed away. Clara watched from her window as the ambulance carried them away. A wicked smile crossed her face. 2 weeks later, trouble knocked on Clara's own door. Geri's mother stormed into their house with another young woman beside her. The girl was slim, tall, and shy. Geri, his mother shouted. This is Angela. From today, she will be your wife. Clara has refused to give me a grandchild, so it's time to marry a woman that can give birth. Geri was embarrassed. Mama, please, don't start this. But Clara's face darkened. She welcomed them politely, but inside her, the serpent stirred. That night, Clara transformed and slithered into the guest room where Angela was sleeping. She raised her scaled body high, her golden eyes glowing in the darkness. Angela opened her eyes, saw the snake, and screamed, Jesus. Snake. She jumped from the bed, grabbed her bag, and ran out barefoot. By morning, she was gone, vowing never to return. Geri's mother was furious, so she stormed into the living room the next day, wagging her finger at Clara. You walked woman. So because you cannot give me a child, you want to chase away the one who can. You think you can tie my son with your beauty? Rubbish. Clara sat, staring at her mother-in-law. Geri's mother shouted louder. I will not rest until my son has a proper wife and I carry my grandson in these hands. Then she left and went back to her house. Clara's lips curved into a cold smile. Clara hissed under her breath. A dark force pulsed through her veins. She laid a curse on her mother-in-law which made her dumb and crippled. Clara laughed and said, let me see how you will be able to bring in another woman for my Geri. In the kingdom of snakes, and at the center sat the queen of them all, a massive serpent with a crown, hissed angrily to her members. Humans are many, yet too few have honor life. My daughter, Clara, is wasting time. She was given power to destroy, not to love. Then the queen sent one of her trusted messenger, go to the human world. Find Clara. Tell her if she does not end more lives, she will return to us forever as a snake. That same night at 1 a.m., Clara had just transformed and was about to leave her house when she heard a hiss louder than hers from the corner of the room. A long snake emerged, and when it opened its mouth, a woman's voice came out. Clara, it said. Daughter of the serpent. The queen is not pleased. Clara froze, her golden eyes dimming. Mother sent you. Yes, the snake said. You have unalive few. But there are still too many alive in your estate. Why do you waste time? Why do you pity humans? You are not one of them and you belong to us? Clara's heart pounded. I'm trying my best. You're not trying, the snake said. Remember when your own husband's family brought another woman to take your place? Humans will never love you. Unalive them, or lose your place in the kingdom. The snake slid closer. Remember, if you stay past dawn one day, you will never be human again. You will crawl forever. Choose wisely. And just like that, the snake disappeared into the night. Clara changed into a human. Tears fell from her eyes. Why me? Why this curse? Why can't I just be a normal woman, a normal wife? Meanwhile, Geri noticed his wife's sadness growing worse. She barely ate. She barely laughed. At night, she always claimed she was praying. One evening, he took her hand and said softly, "Clara, even if you never give me a child, even if the whole world turns against you, I will love you till my last breath." Clara almost cried. She wanted to confess the truth. She wanted to scream, "Jerry, your wife is not a woman. She is a serpent," but she couldn't. Instead, she kissed his forehead and whispered, "Thank you, my love. You are the only good thing in my life." The next night, Clara went out as a snake. Her heart was heavy. She didn't want to unalive people, but the queen's warning echoed in her head. She slithered into a neighbor's house. A small boy's slippers were by the door. She raised her head to strike them, froze, and hissed softly, then turned away. "I can't unalive a child." But just as she was about to leave, another snake appeared again in the corner. "Do it," it said, "or I will do it for you." The cobra lunged toward the boy's slippers. Clara panicked and struck her second, biting it and forced it to go back. The cobra's eyes glowed with fury. "You defy the queen," it roared. "You will regret this." The queen of snakes was enraged. That very dawn, Clara struggled to return home before 5 a.m. Her body felt heavy. And made her transformation slowed. "No, no, no," she cried, slithering desperately. Jerry, waking up, opened the window and froze. Right there in the compound was a massive coral snake, struggling, half human, half serpent. Its golden eyes looked straight at Jerry. "Clara." He gasped, horror and heartbreak flooding his chest. She reached toward him, her voice half hissing, half crying, "Jerry, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you. I wanted to be normal," but before she could finish, her time was over. Her human form peeled away completely, and in seconds, Clara was gone. What remained was only a huge serpent, hissing pitifully on the ground. Jerry fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "No. No, Clara. Come back, please. God, bring back my wife." But it was too late. The curse had claimed her. From that day, Jerry lived like a broken man. People whispered in the estate about the giant snake that vanished into the bush, never to return. Some said it was unalive by hunters. Others said it returned to the snake kingdom, but Jerry knew the truth. Every night, he sat by the window, waiting, whispering into the darkness, "Clara, I still love you. Even if you crawl in the shadows, even if you never return, you are still my wife." And sometimes, when the wind blew, he swore he heard a soft hiss. Almost like Clara calling his name. Jerry's mother passed away unburied, and he became useless, no child, no wife and no mother.